This is a lab assignment from section 5.3. It says to use part 1 of our fundamental theorem of calculus to find the derivative of this function. This is an h function, a function of x, and so your function is defined by a definite integral where x is in the upper limit. We have the arctan of t evaluated from 1 to 1 over x. So if we do a U-substitution and let u equal to 1 over x, then du is going to be, remember the derivative of 1 over x is x to the negative 1 power. It's going to be negative u, or negative x to the negative first power. We can write it like that, or we can write it as, oops, there's a negative. Let's try negative 1, and then we subtract 1 to the power to the negative 2 power. Alright, so it might be nicer if we write it as negative 1 over x squared, which is what they have here. But either would work, so let's move on. Now we're going to do a u substitution here, and so your derivative is going to include the chain rule. So without the chain rule, though, we're just going to go take a look at u prime of h prime of u, and so the derivative of an integral of a function is the original function, but then we have to evaluate it at the limit, and so it's going to be essentially arctan of t but instead of t, we're going to replace it with u, and then that's it. Notice the lower limit is 1. It doesn't really matter what the lower limit is because we're taking derivatives anyways. Alright, so now that we have the arctan of u, we have to take a look at the chain rule. The functions u of h and the functions h of u and then u of x, then the derivative of h with respect to x is going to be the derivative of h with respect to u times the derivative of u with respect to x. So that's chain rule. So it's really the tangent, the arctan of u times the derivative that we got earlier, which is negative 1 over x squared. Now, this negative 1 over x squared is going to be useful for us here, but we also need the arctan of u here. Oops. Let's get this out of here. Arctan of u times that. Now, arctan of u was a substitution that we had made, and so now we need to make sure we put that substitution back. We let u equal to 1 over x, so we're going to need to replace this back to 1 over x. So it's going to be the arctan of 1 over x times the derivative of 1 over x, which is negative 1 over x squared. Okay.